baby. That's how you merge on the interstate. All right, everybody, so a little bit different video for you today. Any video we do, we're gonna make sure we provide a ton of value and not waste your time. But if you're watching this, you're probably inquiring about a newer Mustang, be it a GT Dark Horse, or you may already have a 2024 model year or 2025 model year GT Dark Horse, and you're wanting to put the Ford Performance Supercharger on your particular car. We're opting for the Ford Performance Supercharger because the way the car sits, quite frankly, it just doesn't knock our socks off. We kind of want a better dollar per horsepower out of this thing. It needs the supercharger. It deserves the supercharger, and it should have come this way from the factory. A little unorthodox video for us because we're used to putting all the parts on ourselves, but in order to get the 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty that Ford provides with their supercharger, a Ford dealer has to do the install or an ASC certified technician, and we'll touch base on that here real quick. Any Ford dealer will be able to do this. It is up to their discretion, so you will have to call your local Ford dealer, make sure that's something they want to do. But any Ford dealer that puts the supercharger on the car, you'll get your warranty. And then as far as the ASC certified technician thing goes, if you find a reputable speed shop in your area, you got to make sure that they have an ASC technician that performs the install. Whichever route you take, you're gonna have to send that information to Ford Performance in order to register and obtain that warranty. Let's just kind of role play, for example. If you go to a really good speed shop in your area, they're trusted, they do great work. Could be that they don't have an ASC certified technician. Well, you're not gonna get your warranty. So before you do it, especially a speed shop, just make sure that they have an ASC certified technician that's gonna be performing the install. We're gonna take it to our local dealership to us here in Waco, Texas, which is Bird Colgin Ford. Ashley, which is the representative we've been dealing with, he's gonna kind of walk us through the process, explain what you can expect, be it buying a car and then taking it back to the dealership to have the supercharger put on, or if you are at the dealership buying a brand new car and you want the supercharger installed. Which either route you take, what we're gonna show and the experience and process that we're gonna provide, gonna be verbatim for either scenario you're in. So this Dark Horse here, we bought, I don't know, well, we ordered it in like 2023. Didn't come in until 2024. But for those of you that were shopping for Dark Horses and handling packs in particular, know that they were just taking quite a while to get. But just for reference purposes, on this particular car, it has just under 1,000 miles, 959.6 miles, and we're already putting a supercharger on it because we really didn't know where we wanted to be with the car. As crazy as that sounds, as Mustang enthusiasts, you know, we got a lot of cars we rotate through here in the shop. Fox bodies, SN95s, new Edge cars, S197, still the S550 stuff, Lightnings, 92, 96 Bronco. So always a lot of stuff churning here. And now that we've kind of had some time to shift our focus, get it back over here to the Dark Horse, we're just gonna go chips all in and put a Ford Performance Supercharger on this thing. So we'll zip this out, get the supercharger in the truck, and we'll hightail it to Bird Colgin Ford. All right, cars at Bird Colgin, we're not gonna waste their time. We're gonna hand the keys off, let them get rolling. We'll pick back up with supercharger on the car, and we're gonna holler at Ashley, and then from a service manager's role, he can kind of walk us through what you would expect of either scenario, whether you're buying the car brand new, getting the supercharger installed, or if you're like us, you've already bought the car, and then you're bringing it to your Ford dealership to have them install it. So drop the keys off, and then we're gonna let them rip. All right, a little break in the action. We're back at Bird Culture. We're gonna pick the car up. We actually took our 2024 GT. We'll get it out on the road and maybe do like a first reaction type of thing. Let's go get it. Oh man, boost fixes anything. All right, everybody, we've made our way inside of the cool little conference room here at Bird Culture Ford. We've got Ashley. We've mentioned him a few times in the video. He's going to tell us who he is, what he does here at Bird Culture, and then he's going to walk us through the very simple process, how to get your supercharger installed on your new Mustang GT or Dark Horse. Ashley, take it away.
Yeah, man. So again, I'm Ashley. I'm the service manager here at Bird Culture. Kind of oversee the technicians, and then any of the go fast goodies that anybody wants to put on their car, they come see me, and we try to find a way to get it done.
Well, we definitely came and saw you. Our situation, like I've discussed early in the video, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a little unorthodox, but we bought our car. We let it go a few months. Kind of didn't really know where we wanted to be with it. Did we want to chase just some simple, suspension type modifications? You really can't do much with the new S650 in terms of naturally aspirated things, just because of kind of the tuning still being locked down and all that. So after some careful thinking and sorting through where we wanted to be with the car, we thought, hey, what better way to make some power and then put the Ford Performance Supercharger on. We usually do that stuff ourselves, but for this one we wanted to kind of take a step back. So we gave Ashley a call and said, hey, is this something y'all would want to do? And they jumped at the opportunity and helped us out. If you're in a similar situation, or if you're buying a new car, be it from Bird Culture Ford or wherever you're watching from whatever Ford dealership, process that Ashley is going to explain on how this works will cater both ways.
Yeah, super simple. If you're buying a car from us, we can order the parts, we can work that into the deal as part of the financing if you want. If you don't buy it from us, again, not a big deal. We love to put the parts on. You can order them through us. We can get the supercharger and all the parts shipped right to us and then bring the car in. I need about a day and a half, 2 days technically with the car, just to make sure that the tune file loads and we get to test drive it a couple of times just to make sure everything works. It's simple. We've done quite a few of them now. We know how to do them, and backwards and forwards, it's easy, and it makes a ton of power, makes the cars a lot of fun.
He gave us a call, 2 days after?
Yep.
We dropped it off, said, hey, your car's ready, come pick it up and enjoy it. Granted, this is going to be up to kind of to the dealership, but again, for all of you watching, if you're consulting with your local Ford dealership, it was about 8 to 10 labor hours is what y'all kind of consider that?
About 10 hours is kind of where we fall.
Okay, so good gauge for any of you out there that are looking at labor hours. Again, every dealership's going to be a little bit different. If your dealership comes back with, let's say, a 20 or 30 hour labor charge, you may want to pick up this video and show them that, hey, you know what, no, that's probably not factual. It's going to depend on the dealership, and as far as money is concerned, we're not going to get too far down the rabbit hole with that. That's why we're touching base more with the labor hour thing. We're here in Waco, Texas. Your labor rate is always going to differ throughout the country. And with all that, y'all do all the registration of warranty with Ford Performance, correct?
Yes, we sure do. So we handle all of that, so you don't have to worry about any of the warranty stuff. When we hand you the keys back, it's ready to roll and you're good.
If y'all are interested in this and you want to hit the easy button, definitely contact your local Ford dealership, have them put your supercharger on, you drop it off, you pick it up, and it's time to have fun. And we can't thank Ashley and his team enough for jumping at the opportunity and helping us out and turning our Dark Horse around in a matter of 2 business days. Ashley, thanks so much.
Absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe, who knows, we'll get an F-150 or another Mustang or something.
Come on.
Drop it off and we can keep hitting the easy button. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks, Bird Culture Ford. We're going to hit the road. We'll pick up with my goofy self in the car, having some fun. We're about to take out, go drive the Dark Horse, kind of ride and drive with the supercharger. But before we do, we're putting on an oil separator. For the passenger side, that's kind of referred to as the dirty side, PCV. This is the J&L version. There's different brands that we have on the site. Shop which one you think you like best for your car. This installs in about 5 minutes. We are leaving LMR. There's Trey Sandoff, our great IT guy. You've seen him on the channel before. He's got a awesome Fox, and an awesome track pack Coyote car. So 4th gear, 78 mile an hour, 4,500 RPM. I think one of the first things I've noticed, I mean, other than the obvious power, because I've driven it already, how well manned the car is. You know, I mean, we just changed the supercharger. You know, we didn't put long tube headers and loud exhaust or anything on it, but this drives like a stock Dark Horse off the showroom. And then when you hit the go fast pedal, it's all there. So we're just in normal regular drive mode for now. We'll play around with it, kind of cycle through the modes, and then you'll see if we can feel anything from the seat of the pant. Of course, something like a draggy or like a GPS device from a certain elapsed distance or time would tell you more from a data perspective. And I think what's cool for this car, and you'll probably hear me talk about this throughout the video, is simplicity. You know, we're not chasing all the horsepower. I'm not worried about E30 blends. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. Long tube headers and trying to pinch every little bit of power out of this thing. The whole intent of this was to buy a car that what we believed for the quality and value that we're getting, you know, it necessarily didn't match the performance. I think one could argue that this car and, you know, even a Gen 3 Coyote probably could prefer the Gen 3 just for value. And we can run this through our heads several different ways. You know, they're going to tell you that the S650 is a dud, and whatever the case may be. If that's what you want to believe in, hey, you know what? That's your belief. Go with what you think is right. Is it comparable to a Gen 3 car, S550? Absolutely. You know, all along the way of the Coyote platform, you could probably include S197 into this as well, is Ford has, oh, there's that brick nose Bronco. A little out for a Friday stroll like we are. All along the way, Ford has refined these cars. They've bettered ABS systems. They've bettered MagneRide systems. They've bettered suspension geometry, bushing material, all these little finite details, you know, that we often don't know or necessarily can see because we just immediately go to looks, which, I mean, duh, if we're buying a car, we want it to look good. We don't really necessarily care about bushing material. And all of that stuff, you know, plays ability for these cars to improve over the years. Is this leaps and bounds better than an outgoing S550? I wouldn't say so. You know, I don't have a lot of track time. I don't have any track time at the time of this video with this particular car, but I have driven a lot of S550s on the track. Those cars just flat out work. And if this car is a variant of that, of an S550 with subtle tweaks and advancements and improvements, well, then it is a better car. Yeah, it may not be, again, leaps and bounds better, but it is a better car due to the advancements and things that the Ford engineers have done. And by no means, you know, I'm not trying to reason and get the benefit of the doubt here, you know, for who we are and selling parts for the cars and things, because at the end of the day, we're going to be as transparent with you as possible. And, you know, that's why I kind of said, you know, where we were with this car when we bought it, it kind of just sat there. It sat in the warehouse. We were unsure of what to do with it, because for the amount of money, you know, let's just call it $65,000 sticker price, which we can pull the window sticker up. We won't talk about taxes because taxes are different from state to state and stuff like that. Well, if you go look on LMR.com, you start to consider performance. Obviously, you got to go straight to a supercharger because at the time of this video, the ECUs are locked. You can't tune them. You notice a few options, Whipple, and then the Ford Performance Supercharger, which is a Whipple Supercharger. You get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, 810 horsepower, 615 pound-feet of torque. One modification, you have a dealership install it, or an ASC certified technician at like a speed shop or something like that. That's how you obtain your warranty. And for us, we had Bert Colgan put this supercharger on because we wanted to kind of approach this in a way that all of you may approach this. You know, you just want to sit back, relax. I'm interested in a Dark Horse car or a GT for that matter, and either A, want the supercharger out of the gate with the car, or B, you know, I may want to buy the car, drive it around for a little bit. Maybe the naturally aspirated feel and power's fine. Maybe that floats your boat. If you are chasing the power, you can do exactly what we did. Go back a few months later, and then voila, we have a supercharger on the car, and Bird did it in a matter of 2 business days. We drop it off with 500 horsepower, 418 pound-feet, whatever, and then, you know, we pick it up with 810, 615. And then as far as our dyno is concerned, this car did 435.6 and then 383.2, I believe, naturally aspirated. We had some decent air that day. That's an ASC corrected number. At the time of this video, just the other day, we dynoed it with the supercharger. with the SAE correction. It did 694.9 horsepower and 558.2 pound-feet of torque. And then just for comparison's sake, we had a really good day that day. It was like 64 degrees in the shop, 16.73% humidity, which is absolutely bonkers, at least for Texas. The density altitude was negative 3,000, give or take. So just an absolute great day to dyno the car. And then uncorrected, so the car in those conditions, it was making 722.4 horsepower, 580.3 pound-feet of torque at the tire. And again, those were uncorrected numbers. That's 93 pump gas with the Ford Performance calibration. Pretty impressive. And for those of you that have followed these Dark Horse cars and GT cars for that matter, be it 10R80 or MT82 or the Tremec 3160 that's in the Dark Horse, you know that numbers are comparable and numbers can creep all the way up to 800 and maybe even higher just due to, you know, what folks are doing with them. You know, higher octane fuels, headers, better exhaust, all that sorcery stuff that people do to try to get a dyno number, which in turn to hopefully translate that to like a quarter mile time, 1/8 mile time. For us, again, easy button. Not chasing any of that. We just wanted the reliability of a Ford Performance Whipple Supercharger with the Ford Performance branding installed by a dealership, because as time can go on, you know, let's just role play here of resale value. Do modifications add value? No, we all can agree on that. But where modifications can add value is if they're tasteful and if the person that is interested in the car that you are selling and that they are buying is going to do the same thing to their car that you have already done, there's value in that for them. They probably won't mind spending close to the asking price or possibly the asking price for the car. From a added value standpoint, we had a Ford dealership put it on with a receipt from Bird Colton Ford, and to some people, not everybody, that also adds value to something like this. So in stock trim, just for simplicity purposes, I want to touch base on dollar per horsepower. $65,000, 500 horsepower, that's $130 per horsepower. Well, you already think that, oh, it's an expensive car. You know, why would I want to go spend $9,000 on the Supercharger, give or take, you know, a few $100 or whatever it is on our website, plus the price of install. Let's just call it $12,000. That puts us at 77 grand. We can also round that up to 80,000 just for simplicity, since that's a multiple of 5. You take $80,000 and 810 horsepower, you're at, call it $100 per horsepower. I think it's $98 and some change. Again, that's all going to depend on trim level. You know, this is a 600A package car, handling pack, Recaros. You know, we're talking a $30 per horsepower savings, if you will, by putting the Supercharger on the car. And don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you it's cheap, it's expensive. The way we spend our money, the way we make our money, the thought process in which we all have, and how we perceive things, it's all what we like. That goes with anything and everything. Just because I may be interested in a Dark Horse with a Supercharger and I want to spend the money, who cares? You know, it's my money. I don't care if I can go get something else cheaper, or I could build a box body, run 9 seconds, man, it'll run circles around that Dark Horse. I don't care. You know, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in a Dark Horse with a Supercharger and a warranty. So there's that. Oh, it just melts the tires. Still spinning third. All right, we got it. Oh, nope, still spinning. Still going. Here we go. We got traction. Wow. You definitely got to drive this car, and like anything, it takes a little getting used to. But man, dude, redline just comes so fast. I mean, before you have time to gather your thoughts, it's time to go to the next gear. You know, you don't get that with an automatic car. As fun as they are in their own way, and as consistent as they are, especially if you're somebody that likes to use it maybe to race, streets of Mexico, drag strip, wherever you're doing, whatever you're doing, you know, automatic's definitely gonna be more consistent, duh. But fighting 700 horsepower with a stick, that's where it's at, man. Supercharger whine, it's there, but it's not just in your face. For me, coming from a second-gen Lightning, I've owned one of those for 15 years at the time of this video. You know, those things make some noise. 0304 Cobras, but it kind of, all along the way, Superchargers have changed, technology's changed, etc. If you spin them, you know, they'll make some noise. All right, we're gonna go to track mode. We're still cruising down the highway. There's not much to talk about with the modes, you know, kind of obviously going straight and at cruising speeds. Down here in Texas, we don't have a lot of twisty roads. It's just, they're just long and straight. We got a little open turf here with track mode. So track mode takes a little bit of the, oh yeah. Yeah, we going, baby. That's how you merge on the interstate. I think we caught air back there, Judy. Well, anyways, what I was saying, track mode does relinquish some of the stability. It doesn't kill advanced track altogether. I believe it just takes traction control away. Some of your advanced track stuff is still there. Whenever I matted it back there, I could kind of feel some of that kicking in. So if y'all follow the channel, y'all probably heard us reference kind of the local twisties around the area we're from. These twisties are kind of tightly knitted, I guess you could say. So with nearly 700 horsepower, what can you really do through here? But you can play with some of the turn in, weight distribution, weight change, you know, some hard braking, some decent acceleration, and you can really feel the car work. Again, you can't use all the power here. This would have to be something you take to like Circuit of the Americas, which for us it's about an hour and 45 minutes down the road. Or we also have Motorsport Ranch Crescent up in Granbury, which is also about an hour 45 up the road. So I think as time goes on, we'll definitely try to get the car there. Do we want to squeeze as much data and as much talking points in one video as we can? Sure. You know, we want to keep your attention and make this value oriented. If you're in the market for one of these cars, maybe you're on the fence of a supercharger, you know, maybe you want to go straight into the dealership, buy the car and buy the supercharger with it. Hopefully we were able to answer some questions for you and really show you how easy this is. All this is going to be at the discretion of your local Ford dealership. Call them first, you know, kind of go over everything with them. Show them this video, you know, who knows, maybe this is something that they are interested in and, you know, they need a video like this to kind of be like, oh, hey, you know, that's cool. We didn't necessarily know about that. Or we've never done one, didn't realize how easy it was. Name your scenario of kind of how it could happen. I just want to give a shout out to Bird Colgin again, Ashley for getting us in so quick, and then Kagan, the master tech there, for turning this thing around in 2 business days. We can't wait to drive it more. This whole trip, this whole video, we've put 100 miles on it. Yeah, right at 100 miles. My take on this car with the seat time that I've had in it, my analysis could change long term. You probably get a little bit of the honeymoon phase when something like this happens, but I will tell you from long-term ownership, I've owned a Lightning for 14 years. Makes 425 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, full bolt-on truck. To this day, I get in that thing and it makes me smile. You know, it made me smile at 19 when I bought it. It makes me smile at 30, just turned 34. It makes me smile at 34 years old. That could be the case for this car. It makes loads of power. It makes usable power if you can drive it. No, it manages it well, especially in sport mode or even in track mode. You gonna light the tires up? Absolutely. And this thing is a blast to drive. We're not going to chase all the extra sorcery stuff. And if we do, you know, we may bring you along for the ride. But for us, we just wanted the Ford Performance brand supercharger with this car. We wanted the Ford dealership to install it. That way we can keep the receipt in the glove box. Because over all the years of us doing this, we've had a Ford Performance branded supercharger on every generation Coyote. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, and now Gen 4. I'll cut the yip yap. I will sit here and talk forever. It knocked my socks off. It really did. I mean, I've driven some higher horsepower cars before. You know, nothing that felt like this. This thing's badass, man. It really is. Money aside, this is something that you want. Just go buy the dang thing. Life's too short to sit here and split hairs over whatever you want to split hairs over. I'm going to leave y'all at that. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. As always, if you find value in what we do, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, buy a supercharger from us. And until we catch you in the next one, for all things X650 Mustang, keep it right here at The Real Enthusiasts, LMR.com.